You guys, welcome to your week. This hopefully will be a better week than last week. I'm speaking for myself personally, but hopefully for you guys too. Now, I've been asking people that I really have a lot of fun with because I need fun right now. And this person makes me laugh so hard. You know her from her Instagram account, which we came up in the tough streets of Instagram together. And she always makes the jokes that I'm sometimes now scared to make. She still makes the jokes that I'm like, damn, that's the joke I wish I could make if I was brave enough, because she really tells the truth. She will tell you her honest opinion, which I think is what we look for, especially with Bravo. She's had many jobs over the years. Like I feel like it's been hysterical to watch her journey, but she is here with us. We'll talk Vanderpump. We'll talk all Bravo. We might talk Lizzo. We'll talk about what she did this weekend. So welcome, Jen. You might know her better as @BlockedByJax. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here. You're like my favorite podcast to go on.
Oh, yeah, come on. Nobody else asked you then. Come on. That's By the way, what happened to you? Had Bravo over Boys. What happened to that?
Oh my God. It was like I was switching jobs and it was just so hard. Like I don't think people realize how hard it is to like do and stuff. Like it's not easy. And I was traveling constantly for work at the time, and it just like was not fitting in with my schedule at the time.
And people don't realize Instagram, like, I mean, it's so much easier to like think of a joke and put it out really quick.
Oh, so much easier.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's the easiest that it's sometimes hard to conceive of something that you find funny, but other than that, it's like, it's just right there and it gets out there and then it has a life of its own potentially. I don't know if I've talked to you in a year or a half a year or whatever, but it feels like Bravo has just exploded in so many different ways, not only through the success of Vanderpump Rules this season, but now we have Bethany Frankel. I don't know if you remember Bethany Frankel or whatever. She's starting a reality show Union. What do you think about Bethany Frankel's reality show Union?
She's like on my last nerve lately. I used to love her on Roni. And
yeah, me too.
Like she was one of my favorites, especially like for Ramona, like the way they would always just argue. I thought was the funniest thing. And now I really cannot stand her at all. I'm so sick of hearing from like, you're starting a union on this, but like, what are you going to talk about on your podcast if you like ruin the world of Bravo?
And also how we start a union when they wouldn't hire you now to begin with. Like exactly. Bravo wouldn't hire Bethany right now if she wanted to come back. So it's like, you get to a place where you're unhireable and then like, let's start a union to fuck shit up.
Oh yeah. It's like, I think she's almost rebelling. Like that's why she's doing it. I don't know if she genuinely cares about anyone who is on a reality show.
That's what I try to explain to people. It doesn't seem like it comes from a place of actual concern. It seems from a place of Bethany concern and the hole that she has that she'll never be able to fill in her heart and soul.
Right. Because like everything she did after Housewives has been like a flop, except for Skinny Girl. But like that HBO show, do you remember that?
Oh my God. Jen, I watched that entire, and I remember watching the first episode going, you know what? This is probably going to be like The Apprentice. It's going to be a huge success. And it was so bad. By the end, she let her daughter Brynn pick who she was going to fire because she didn't know how to do it. She was like, Brynn, I'm going to need some help on this. And I was like, you're letting your daughter, like, this would be an actual lawsuit.
Oh yeah. That's when you know that she just knows this is going to go down the toilet. She's like, you know what? Let's bring in my 7-year-old to fire grown adults.
Well, people get so frustrated sometimes with me because I do have strong opinions about Bethany and they'll always be like, I love her. Why don't you like her? And I always say two things can be true at once is that I can really love her on Roni and like what she did for Roni. But these other kind of, I call them antics, is just, it doesn't seem like it comes from a place of actual concern. And I think it could actually hurt things more in the long run. I think there's a conversation to be had about better wages, better things like that. But I don't think Bethany should be the head of this union.
No, she does not need to be the face of like reality stars, like fighting the man and getting like what they like.
And then it's like, well, and then the other piece. So like, guys, a warning letter was sent out on Friday, I think, and she has a really good lawyers behind, like Mark Garagos. Like these are good people that she has behind this, and she says over 80 stars have expressed interest in this, and we've got a couple of the potential names. Hannah Berner, Hannah Berner. They said Paige DeSorbo, which kind of like. I am trying to see if I believe that. They said Stassi Schroeder might be. So it's like, is it basically everybody that's been let go of Bravo except for Paige DeSorbo?
I was going to say, is it basically just people who are fired and like are now going to be like, this is what happened to me on the show? Like,
oh, it's going to be Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna's going to hop on that.
So Lisa Rinna is going to be like on the front lines, like every day in front of Andy Cohen's apartment with like signs, like.
Well, I hope we're called as character witnesses at this eventual trial. And then, it's going good. And then I take the stand. And I'm like, let me tell you about Bethany Frankel. And I'm going to be eating a seafood boil while I explain it to everybody.
Oh my God. I had like nightmares about that.
Well, that I swear to God, I think I'm buying a seafood boil tonight just to make a video. And I'm going to put Vaseline all over my face because she looked so like wet the entire time. And she was like, 1 potato, 2 potato, 1 corn, 2. Like, this is the head of your union?
I know this is who you want, like fighting for you.
Well, it's one thing, but like she then likes to give her opinions about every other thing known to man. So will she have to chill out on giving her opinions about every other thing until this thing is done?
I know, like, is everyone else going to get a break for a little bit? Like, Meghan Markle's probably so excited.
Can she get Meghan Markle to join her union and this could like be like she had such a boner for royals. She was into caviar for a second when that got popular on TikTok. She loves the dollar store face masks videos.
Yeah. She's like, it's what, like, I don't want to watch them because I don't want to give her views, but like, I can't not. It's
she is it's like the concept of hate watching. It's like, and just like that, the Sex and the City, I hate watch that, but I love it. Like, I can't stop watching it. And there are parts that I'm like, I think I actually like this scene, but I hate all the other scenes. And then just like, it's weird. So maybe I'll come on board, Bethany, at some other time. Your weekend adventures are always some of my favorites. And I know a lot of people like to see what you're doing on the weekend. What did you do this weekend, Jen?
So Friday, what did I do? I don't think I did anything. And then Saturday during the day, just had like a drunken day with a bunch of friends. And
like where'd you go?
We just went to like this restaurant called Risotto's and got like oysters and stuff. But my friend was blackout.
What time did you start?
Like 11:30. Now. And this poor waiter, he was so cute. But he was, like, and like my friend who's a guy and he's straight is like, "Are you single? Like, where do you go to school? You look like the guy from Summer I Turned Pretty." Like, what? And I'm like, "Oh my God, like, please don't call the cops. Like, I swear we're normal." But it was just one of those nights where you fall asleep at like 7:30 and then you wake up at 11:30 at night, like so hungover and like desperate for water. Like you would do anything. Like, and then you can't go back to sleep.
You regret every decision you've ever made in your life.
Yeah. I was like, well, we're banned from that restaurant. So.
and where are we at on the dating journey?
So I'm like in a serious relationship.
That's what the rumors are true. Okay. And wow. And how does he like Bravo?
So it's funny because I told him I was coming on here with you and every one of his friends that I've met has watched Vanderpump Rules and other shit. And I'm like, see, you won't watch it. And his friends are like, like I've had to watch Housewives with my girlfriend. They're like, Vanderpump Rules is amazing. And I'm like, see, look. And like, then
it's the perfect show to break in like straight dudes.
And then I told him I was doing this today. I was like, yeah, like with Ryan and he's straight. And he loves, like, see, other men love Bravo.
Hey, that guy's like, that dude's barely straight. There's no way that dude's straight.
I'm like, I'm not saying you have to watch like Real Housewives of Dallas or like something like that. But I'm like, with Vanderpump Rules, like, please, I will start from the beginning. And he's like, maybe in the winter, like, but.
he should be lucky to see Vanderpump Rules.
I
That
know.
guy, I mean, come on, this is a unarguably good. Like, I'll show Vanderpump Rules to people, and they usually genuinely immediately like it within 2 episodes.
I know. And I love that now I could be like, you know what? This is an Emmy nominated show. This
Yeah.
isn't
Oh, do you not like art? Like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry,
wow.
this isn't NCIS. Sorry.
You're so uncultured. Like, wow.
So Vanderpump Rules, I mean, we had a great time on Instagram, just really going off on Vanderpump Rules this season. They're filming season 11 now, and it's already gotten so ridiculous. And let's start with your name of your account, Jax, which, you know, you stopped being blocked by Jax in like real life a while ago, because you and Jax started doing Instagram lives a couple of times. I remember I was asked to come on one of those lives, and I was like, fuck no. And like, you did it, and you were doing good at it. You kind of like were, you know, you were able to poke fun of him a little bit, and he was doing the aw shucks Jax. But now Jax is back. What do you think about Jax being back and they're doing the new Vanderpump Valley?
I mean, I never for a second thought anything else than he was trying to like use me. Like on it. I like never felt like he was genuine. I think I even mentioned that to you once. And
yeah.
So of course, like once Scandival happened, like he told me a few things about it, but he kind of like fell off on commenting everything I ever posted and like that kind of stuff. So I feel like he's like, well, you know what? I'm in like my prime again. I am like, he is eating up. Like now he has his bar. Like,
yeah. So guys, him. See, this is what I love about the Vanderpump Rules cast, not just Jax, is the way they're hypocritical is like insanely funny. Because Jax would make fun of all of these people for opening their bars and all this stuff. And now on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, it got announced on their podcast that they're opening Jax's Saloon in Studio City in California. And we got the sign, and the sign looks like you could make it in like Canva. It's like the like Western font. And so he's opening a saloon. And then he also said this yesterday in a comment about Tom Sandoval. He says, we have a long history and we like making it fun at each other. It's harmless. Don't read into things. I want the best for Tom. He's going through a lot, and I know he deserved a lot of it. But I think it's time we just let things heal or be and move on. No point in grilling the guy anymore. We've all made mistakes in life. Did you read that? That's what Jax wrote about Tom Sandoval?
I like rolled my eyes. Like, I can't believe my eyes are still in their sockets. Like, after how hard I like.
What the hell is that?
Before Scandival, they haven't. Remember, he gave like the Randy Jackson, like Samurai.
Yeah, he gave it back to Tom.
Like, they have not been friends in years.
I read that and I go, oh, Jax must be cheating again. Like, Jax must be cheating again, and that's why he's like, come on, guys, let's give him a break.
Like, why are we doing this to him? Like,
what the fuck is that? Like, you get back, like, you were supposed to dislike Tom Sandoval regardless of Raquel, and now you're like, let's chill out. Dude, you like went as hard as anybody on that dude.
I bet you he heard like Tom needs people to film with on Vanderpump Rules, and he's like, maybe if I like get back in the friendship, I could come on and film with it. Like,
well, it just shows you it's like Bethany. It's so bullshit. Is that okay? Once they get their like money taken away from them, that's when their real feelings potentially come out. But then if they have the opportunity to get back on the show, hey guys, let's all be friends. Like, it's bullshit.
All he ever did was preach over and over again how he would never go on shows again. He's past that. He's
ruin its family, beautiful family.
My beautiful family, and I'm mature now. And like he's at square one, like opening a bar, back in the bar.
Well, like, Brittany even said on the podcast, he goes, Jax always told me open up a restaurant is a relationship killer. So I don't know. And I'm like, you're literally talking about what's about to happen. Like, you literally
like, oh, sorry, I only like said that when I didn't think I had the money to open one. But now that I do, it's like
it's pretty cool. It's a good investment. I think it's good. And you know he's gonna get these women in like Hooters outfits.
Oh, 100%. With like, and like you said, the sign. It looks like the entrance to every Frontier Disney World like food stand, like the little like old time West like Kentucky vibes. Like
it would be great. It would be great if it was like an old time saloon and he actually like it was like one of those where in the old West where they had prostitutes and stuff. And it was like Jax is like an elevated pimp type character potentially. You know?
Everyone has like assless chaps on and like
it just bums me out because it just shows like we all just talk shit. Nobody means anything truthfully because he does have a beautiful family, like he does have a family. Like, wouldn't you want to protect that? And I guess money is the great motivator and you can take care of your family. But if you ruin your family, you're going to need more money to take care of that family eventually.
I feel like that's the industry you get in last if you're trying to like
the family industry,
like the bar industry. Like I feel like even really successful bars, it's a few years before you even get any kind of money back or like even break even. Like you put
totally.
And he's like I honestly feel like he's one of those people that wakes up and is like, I'm going to own a bar today and runs with it.
Well, it's like he's that guy that probably still wakes up and goes, if I tried hard enough right now, I could still be an astronaut.
Right.
Like if I could still, or like if I train hard, I could be a professional football player. Like at that age.
Because all those like the chunky sweater line, beer cheat, like none of that has happened.
And by the way, I would have bought the beer cheese to try it. I would have definitely bought the chunky sweater. Like he had I'm like, I'll do the product. Just finish one of them.
I think it was even less than a year ago. Remember they went on like the Today Show or something and he's writing a children's book.
Do you know how we could write a children's book right now? Like, hey, little Jax wanted to be on TV. Little Jax thought he could never do it. We could write it right now in this minute and put it out. He can't do a children's book.
But they went on TV and everything to announce that and
it's all a show. And he's had that damn PR person for the last 7 years. You know that PR person, they're always hanging out. Yeah, Lori, who does all the Bachelor contestants. I'm like, they've had to pay her every month, and it's just like little Jax showing up to premiere. And Jax always does that thing where he'll be like, wow, I could get used to red carpets again. Like he'll show up I'm like, you never went from red carpets. You're always showing it up as some stupid movie premiere.
Oh yeah, they're at Paw Patrol, the musical premiere.
I remember back in the day, he had this one Instagram. I mean, this is back in the day after Stassi wrote her first book, and he showed a picture of these books, and he goes, "Wow, they want me to write one of these. I don't know if I can do it." I remember this Instagram story so much. And he had a shot of 7 books and one was Stassi's. And he was like, they want me to write one. I wonder if I can do it. I'm like, you can't, obviously. You can't do it.
You can't even write a children's book, let alone a children's book could be font 92, 3 words on page. You do not.
When it was a book about fatherhood, he couldn't finish a book about fatherhood. That's interesting.
And what is he going to write about that we all don't already know? About his life.
I would be great if like broken noses, drug abuse, sleeping around, warning you about the pitfalls of getting older. I don't know, that Tom Sandoval thing.
I can't imagine Brittany would love that, him to write about all of his.
Everybody that I meet that actually knows Brittany swears by Brittany. Says, oh my God, the night, just swears by Brittany. And then Jax is just that guy that I just don't think you can trust as far as you can throw him. He's entertaining, but that Tom Sandoval comment got me. I was like, wow, you really shifted 180. And I don't know what Tom Sandoval could have said that would have made Jax write something like that, because I remember Jax texting the girls on reunion day, Ariana, you got this, girl. Remember that?
Here's this.
I was like, this is just insane. So what is, after the fact and now that they're filming, where are you at now with the Raquel, Rachel, Tom situation, Ariana? Or you still think it's as disgusting as it was? Where are you feeling? And Tom Sandoval's behavior since?
I think his behavior just makes it worse and worse. Does this whole thing keep me up at night still? It did for 3 months? Not as much, but I mean, That interview he just recently did where he like joked about like him and Ariana like having sex still.
Oh,
Well,
the walk and talk, the
yeah,
walk and talk out of
like
the bar.
it's
Yeah.
things like that where I'm like, maybe you should just stop speaking for like a couple of months. And
Yeah.
people
You
would
know you're not good at it. Like it's okay not to be good at like speaking. Just don't
right.
do it.
I feel like whenever I like don't think about him, he comes back and just acts like such an idiot that and like I've been rewatching Vanderpump Rules. It's like my work background show. And like watching it now, I'm like, oh my God, he's always been such a narcissist piece
It's
of
so
shit. Like,
see it's so easy to see when you now go back, but like I bought into him hook, line, and sinker.
oh, me too.
Isn't it funny too that we always see on those walk and talks, he has his like Avengers of like dorks, Billy Lee
Yeah.
and Kyle Chan. Kyle Chan's always in the background too. And I'm like, this dude actually has a real job making jewelry, and he has to and he seems like he has such a boner to like just follow Tom Sandoval.
I don't understand it at all. Like Billy Lee, I get like she probably wants to be back on the show. But like Kyle Chan, like you said, like don't you have a lucrative business? Like
don't you have your business is giving discounts to reality stars on your jewelry, and like you're just following this one man around. And I remember Ariana saying to me, she was like she was explaining very upset about Kyle Chan because she considered Kyle one of her friends as well, and because Kyle was very aware of what was going on. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I don't know where that bro line like stops and starts of like, yeah, man, you shouldn't be like having a full relationship while you're with Ariana.
right.
That's the question I still don't understand.
Like remember when Kyle called Katie like fat like to her face at that one party?
Oh
like,
my God, no, I forgot about that.
Compass of like human beings. Like, do you remember he went up to her and he was like, "Oh, like you gained weight. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
He was like, why did you do that? Like, how did you let this happen to yourself?" And she was like devastated. It was like at a party, and I'm like, oh my God, he's such a piece of shit. Like.
I remember. Well, I always say, when I went over to Tom's place to interview him a couple years ago, I was in love with that dude. So I was like, oh yeah. And like at the very end, we didn't even do this on camera or on mic. I said, hey, who are you? Because I was like really like trying to get it. Like, who are your heroes, Tom? Like, who do you really look up to? And he and I remember him saying the answer, and I was like, red flagged it, but I was like so in love with him that I was like, oh, he said Kyle Chan was his hero in life.
Oh
and
my God.
I remember going, well, that's weird.
It is weird.
I was like, that's weird. And he's like, he's just the way he works, dude. It's like really inspirational. And I'm like, and I didn't ask. That's what I was like, you mean like jewelry? Like, I was trying to understand because I couldn't understand from the show or from like little snippet, like I was like, what do you look up? It was such a weird little moment that stood out to me.
And he probably didn't even hesitate. He was like, oh, this has been my hero forever. Kyle Chan. Like, I don't even need
to. Yeah, no, it was, I don't know, but it's that thing of like, when you like somebody, you fill in all the blanks for them. Like in that, like, I remember even like that would have red flagged anybody if anybody else said Kyle Chan. But I remember since it was Tom, I was like, Kyle Chan must be a great guy. That must be
what are we missing? Not like what did we not see?
Well, it rocked my foundation because I was like, if I now dislike Tom Sandoval, does that mean I need to like Jax? And then I was like, wait, two things can be true at once. I can dislike both of them potentially.
Oh yeah, that's totally possible.
Where are you at with DJ James Kennedy?
So he blocked me, and I'm really sorry. I loved him.
Why did he block you? What'd you do?
I like made a comment about, you might remember this episode from last season, but like when him and Allie were at that like horoscope person, and he just kept cutting her, and she looked like so uncomfortable.
Look how beautiful she is. She's so equine. Her facial feet. She's so beautiful.
And the woman's like, okay, like Virgos, and Allie's like trying to listen, and James is like on her, and I like made and the picture I got was like perfect because her face was like. He looks like concerned with all, and then he blocked me. I think he's a little sensitive, but
wait, did he follow you?
No, but I mean, I think people send like stories, and
yeah, like it is one of those things that I'll always, if I do something that I know can be, I'll always immediately go check if I've got blocked. Like it's one of the like Paige and Hannah have blocked me. Craig has blocked me. Austin has not, weirdly. Like I give credit to Austin because I love to make fun of Austin, but it's done in love for the most part. But
Right.
it is funny when you're like, oh, that got to them. Like Craig, it got to him that I made fun of, like, I'll make constant lawyer jokes of like, there's only one man to represent Erica Jane, and then I'll do his law photos, and that's what did it with Craig.
I feel like I've heard he's super sensitive and like kind of like a Jax when it comes to blocking.
Well, I listened to his audiobook and he's like, because I didn't realize this, but he got made fun of when he was a kid. And there's like a whole chapter about it, how it really got to him. And then I was like, of course, that makes sense, because he's always really upset when Shep makes fun of him or anybody makes fun of him on the show. So I totally agree with him blocking me or anybody that upsets him. But it is interesting. He is very sensitive about it.
It's like you're in the wrong industry if you cannot be like made fun of at all. Like, what are you?
And also, you're in the wrong industry too. Like, if you're around like a bunch of women that you want to hook up with and you're on a Bravo show, it's good. Like, people are going to talk about your dating history. They're going to talk about your work history. Like, these things are going to come up as fodder for reality shows.
Why did Paige block you?
I think it was either in solidarity with Craig or in solidarity with Hannah, because I went after Hannah pretty hard on that season where she acted like a nut job. And I had really liked Hannah up until that point, but I thought like the Luke stuff, I mean, I thought she was just wild, and like I don't know, for some reason I just thought she was really horrible. And then also the Paige thing, I mean, I do make fun of her laying in bed a lot, but I also try to point out that I lay in bed a lot. But I do think it's like, it's not summer bed, it's summer house. Like, let's get out of bed. Let's take away your phone. And I think just sometimes I don't like the person that is just on the show snarking about everybody on the show, but won't be honest about their own lives.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, like you're still going to comment on everybody else, but
I want to see the Craig stuff. Like you and Craig, there seems to be some real issues there. We'll get one conversation. She'll immediately revert to tears, and then it's over. If she cries, it's done. Conversation done.
But it's funny. I could actually picture Craig blocking you and then talking to her and be like, if you love me, you'll block him too.
I hope not. I hope I'm never ever a conversation for anybody in that sense, because it's, it's like so silly what we do. It's silly. It's so meant to. I mean, maybe there's a bigger point sometimes, but not really. Like, you had a great Instagram the other day that I like couldn't like fast enough, was about name a housewife that you once loved that you now absolutely hate. And you put Heather Gay, and I couldn't have agreed more. So you were the same with Heather Gay as I am.
I like cannot stand her. I think it was like the black eye, obviously. And then immediately after that was Thailand, where I think she was insufferable also.
Oh my God. And then did you listen to that podcast, Scamanda?
Mm-mm.
It's about this girl, Amanda, that like faked cancer. And so she scammed all of this, like her religious group at her church, all of these people out of money. She ended up going to jail, but like at the very end, there are all these people who have like, I'll never talk to her again. What a trash person. And then there was one person going, you know what? I'll be a shoulder for her to cry on. I'll always, and it reminded me of Heather Gay and how she would talk about Jen Shaw, even if Jen Shaw was guilty of like, we all make mistakes. And I was like, there's always that one person that doesn't ever like to see reality, and that, I don't know, that almost takes pride in being used. And then I read Heather Gay's book, or listened to the audio book. And that's when it kind of shifted even further, because I realized, oh my God, she's always loved Bravo so much, and she's just starstruck. I think it like gets to them after a while when you do get attention and start getting attention. Like, I feel like it's gotten to Heather Gay.
I think it has too. I think because people like loved her season 1 and in the beginning, because she's not this like stick thin, like,
yeah, like she was saying it like it is, making fun of herself.
They're like at a restaurant and she's like, I want mozzarella sticks. Like,
I eat mozzarella sticks. I have big thighs. Yeah, like,
and like her dating insight was always like really funny and relatable. And then I think she knew that everyone loved her and that she was like the relatable, funny one. And I feel like as soon as you let that like take over your ego, you immediately become like the most disliked one on this show.
Yeah, like don't buy into your own bullshit is like a really good rule of thumb. And like even when people are loving you, have a healthy skepticism about even that. Like all of this could go away tomorrow, and especially this kind of fame. Reality show fame is such a low level kind of fame. Like we all love it, but in the end of the like that can go away really quickly, and then you're not most of them aren't Bethany Frankel where they sold a liquor company. So
Right.
most of them then you get into this game of trying to get back on your show, like the Jill Zarins and the, you know, like then we see this constant, like it must not be as bad as Bethany makes it because you have all of these women fighting to get back on their franchises at all times.
Oh yeah, like constantly. Like Tamra, but like Vicky, I think is like dying to come back full time.
Oh, Vicky's like full court press right now.
Oh yeah, she's like, and like Bethany did come back at one point, and
Yeah. And then went back. What? And that's what I want to see the contracts when she came back, because at that point she was already a millionaire. So if she really was concerned about like contractual, I would love to see the negotiation when she came back because she was already a millionaire at that point.
right now I think she was saying it was something like obscene, like she would only come back for like a certain amount, and they did it, and she was like, "Oh my god, okay." Like, but
would you like to see Nene come back?
Yeah, but I know that will never happen. But
well, she did say on the Carlos King said, she's like, Andy, I don't know how far we, you know, why, how we've gotten to this point. And I'm like, well, I do. You said he was like, yeah, it's like you said some really choice things about him. Like, you know, so I mean, like she put out maybe a little bit of an olive branch, but I don't really foresee it happening. But Andy's in a weird position right now. Like, does he need to make up with Nene so Nene doesn't join Bethany's Avengers of reality show reckoning people?
And that's true. And I feel like right now it's such a trend of like old OGs coming back. Like we have like Taylor now again, like Heather came back, Tamra, like it's, and like Cherie came back, like so many older, not old age, but like older
OG, like old, like yeah,
coming back, and people are like loving it. So I think the wheels could be spinning in Nene's head a little bit, like, oh wow, I could come back, and like people are loving Atlanta right now. Like, so
this is what happened. Andy needs to find out who signed their name to this reckoning, and then literally just go down the list. Go, Hannah, you want to come back on the show? Yeah, okay. Like they'll be done with the lawsuit in a second. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, Ramona, you want to come back? Yeah, okay. Like then the thing will be done. Everybody just wants back on their show. So I'm interested in the conversation in terms of. But I don't know, like people like Vanderpump Rules is a massive hit this season, but they also forget that it was a massive bomb the last two seasons before that.
Oh my God.
Like it almost got canceled.
That was so bad. Like that COVID season. Oh my God. Like,
I mean, they did a funeral for Dog the Lizard. Like Schwartz killed his lizard.
And that was like a whole episode almost.
Yes. I remember watching in shame going, this is the show that I love. I'm watching a lizard funeral at the Mondrian. Like Bo and Stassi come to pay their respects. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I know. And like, obviously Scandal is definitely what catapulted it back.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe everyone needs like some crazy kind of scandal. I know Atlanta does. But
oh God, I mean Atlanta, it's like they're like little scenes, or like all those ladies are funny. It just doesn't work as a group at all.
It honestly is hard for me to watch Atlanta right now. Like
it's like work. It feels like work now.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, like I need to vacuum, or like I need to fold that laundry, like while I'm watching, and then I like can't. I'm not keeping track of what's happening, and it's like because I don't care. Like I'm not.
And then I'm mad because I have to go back because I'm like, do I go back? And like I have weird OCD where I want to see everything. Like I can't just skip over things. So then I realize I'm not paying attention at all, or I'm fully on my phone invested in something else. And then it's weird because like with Real Housewives of New York, I mean, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, but I'm actually at the point, because I don't know any of these ladies still, that I'm listening. I'm like actually paying attention to try to figure out who they are.
I really like it. I like it a lot. I was shocked to see an article recently that the ratings have declined each week on them.
We suck as a fan base, dude. We bitch and moan, and then we don't watch the show. We don't watch like you even posted. You're like, I haven't kept up with Crappy Lake.
I know. I'm like, God damn it. Like I need to.
And it's good. It's like so a funny little, it's like 21 minutes of your life. It's like, but if we don't show up for these shows, how do we expect new shows to be made? And I think New York, Like I'm digging the low level like drama, like cheese plates, restaurants. Do you live in New York? Do you like Catch?
I do. I honestly, I'm like, am I a loser because I don't
You're
mind?
kind of an Instagram you're kind of an Instagram influencer, like Bryn says.
I'm like, oh my God, am I just like such a loser that I like, am I outdated? Am I?
No, I think it was like, but I knew exactly. But I think that made Bryn look bad, that more bad than the. I mean, like, come on, it was just it's a very catty thing to
I know.
say.
I'm like, yeah, it is. And it really isn't that like a bad place at all by any means. So I'm like maybe it used to be more popular at one point, but it's not like, oh my God, you went there. Like, don't tell anyone. Like, you're going to be blacklisted from like any
No,
kind of.
I like what a silly, stupid fight that I loved. But like, I'm also at that point where I can love or hate any of these ladies. And I like that each week it like changes. Like I was really annoyed at Sai. And then I heard Sai's story at the end where she was talking about growing up poor. And I was like, oh, of course. Like I like filling in those blanks where you're like, oh, now I see why she is the way she is. I like that.
I like that too. And I think they're just like more current New York, like the old Roni. Like I obviously love OG Roni. Like who doesn't?
Yeah.
Like no one hangs out on the Upper East Side. It is like dead. It is so quiet all the time. Like much more like residential than like families and stuff like that. It's not, and it's like it's one of the cheaper parts of the city to live in is the Upper East Side.
Really?
Yeah, I mean like more up like in the 80s, but like no one goes out there ever. Like if
I
you're
thought
like,
Upper East Side was supposed to be like super fancy or like I don't know.
it is like by the park, like in the 60s and 70s, but like the more like it's not like a fun neighborhood by any means. Like it's really just snooty old women
Yeah.
like, up there. And like I think they tried to bring Leah in to bring more of that like downtown like vibe, and
Dude, what a flop.
been burned. I know. And my
You know what,
boyfriend,
can I say something about Leah that really what'd your boyfriend say?
he went to high school with her brother.
What did he say? We saw the brother a couple times on the show.
So he said because he was like knew I loved Bravo, all that. He's like, do you know Leah McSweeney? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, we went to the same high school. Like, I know. I was like, if you hooked up with her, I swear to God.
I know. Did he go like?
I know. I'm like, I don't know if I would be so excited and want to know everything or like block you. But
Was she a generous lover? Tell us.
he said that she was like a basket case. Honestly, he was like, she was nuts.
I mean, she seems like she admits she's a basket case.
Yeah.
I will say the thing about Leah that will like Leah has a podcast now, and I feel like Leah's that person that she's into issues that she wants to be smarter. Like she wants to be smarter than she is. Like if that makes sense. Like she always like wants to talk about these like feminist issues, and then I'll listen to some like things what she'll say, and it like she can't keep up in the conversation she wants to be a part of. And then with the podcast, it makes me laugh because she's already trying to do live shows, but nobody's listening to the actual podcast. And that's the thing that I'm like, build your audience first, and then like try to do the things that are like the big podcast things.
Right. I didn't even know she had a podcast. So
yeah, I mean, guys, go check it out. I mean, she has good guests. She had Kelly Kells on Earth from the Hills and all that stuff.
Oh.
All black Kelly Cutrone. Kelly Cutrone.
Okay.
Kelly Cutrone. I mean, she's had a bunch of anyways, sorry, just offshoot topic. But yeah, Roni, I'm digging Roni. Atlanta, not digging Atlanta. Back to Vanderpump Rules. Do you want Raquel to come back? They're saying that she's not coming back for season 11 now, and she potentially joined Bethany's reality union.
Oh God. She probably doesn't even know like what the union is about. Like she's probably like,
I think Bethany talked to Raquel's mom and got her involved. Like for real.
Does Raquel like her parents, I feel like, are doing every decision for her.
And they're doing a bad, like, to get rid of the dog at that time. To get rid of the dog. Like, I know the dog bit her, but like, she might have said, like, maybe the wrong time to give the dog up because we're in such a shitstorm with Rachel and Raquel and Tom's actions that maybe now's not the time to say we just abandon a dog.
I know. Like, right after she wears that, like, be a kind person or be a good person hat.
Yeah, she was finally spotted to be a kind person.
I mean, I feel like the show, like, I don't want her back. I honestly can't stand her. Like, this season of Vanderpump Rules, like, you know how like the night it premieres, like they'll play the old episode before the new one. I couldn't watch the old ones before the new ones because it made me like so like I could not watch them. Like her and Tom, it was just so gross to me, like watching everything after what we knew had happened. And like the campfire thing on her birthday, I'm like, I know a lot of people like want her back because obviously she was part of that huge drama. But like, I'm fine with her not coming back. I think maybe she came back in the finale and like spoke to like had a conversation with people. But
my whole point is that like, if she went and did like mental health facility, like that has been told that she did, first off, I think Tom should have done it way more than Raquel. And he just went back on I mean, his therapy's the road, you guys. Rocking out, dude. Wait, did you see the Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras show?
No.
In New York? Okay. Because a lot of people, I was shocked at the people that I would see. And a lot of my listeners went and they seemed like they had a great time, but I would always be shocked at first because I'd be like, oh man, really? That's wild. Like, and he would be shirtless with his nipples protruding, like, and they're all like taking selfies and he's loving it. And I was like, that is such an interesting thing because I would feel like such shame at what I had done, but he doesn't seem like he feels shame at all.
No. And I honestly wouldn't give him 10 cents of my money to go see him. Like, I do not want to feed into anything he does. Like, I do not want to give him my money. I don't care if it was free. Like, I just do not want. I mean, I don't think like my mere presence could do that, but like I don't want to feed into his bullshit. I really don't. Like if he was playing next door to my apartment, like I'm not going.
It does seem like there's definitely a psychosis there about celebrity for him, but it also just seems like the obliviousness, like most people would pack it in or take a really long break and he didn't. And I think that really shows where he is mentally in his life. But Raquel, though, the point I keep making is that, like, sure, I mean, I'd have her back, but if she went to that mental health facility, I hope she also went to public speaking classes because she was not even able to explain her feelings at the reunion. So how do we expect her to come in like, oh, I want a chance to hear her story? She's not going to be able to say it. She's not a good speaker.
No, she cannot articulate herself at all. And it would just be a waste of time. And honestly, I feel like if you went to a mental health facility like that, you would leave and be like, I can't do the show. It is so like psychologically.
There is no therapist that would recommend you going back to reality television.
No one. No, like, unless it was some like crackhead therapist in an alleyway, like that you just stumbled upon. Like, it is no one with it who went to college for therapy would ever to be like, you know what, we just spent months dissecting this and talking about it, but go back. Like,
yes, I just I kept joking on my recaps. I'd be like, well, I want her to go through like training where she's all tatted up and she's like, let's fucking go. You want a fucking piece of me, James? Let's go. I want her like face tats and like she's seen some shit. You know, like she's just like, I'm fucking ready, dude. I'll fuck your man too, dude. Like, your man. I want that's the Raquel I want instead of like, I don't know, it's just good to be loved.
Oh, like I know.
And then like that's the thing is that Bethany argued in this lawsuit, or not lawsuit, but the papers, the warning shot at Bravo is that said, you know, Raquel was used by Bravo and she was put in bad situations, mentally unhealthy situations, which it's like, welcome to the world of television. I'm not trying to be heartless here, but it is a reality show where the producers under obligation to not put, like, they didn't make them cheat with each other.
Right.
The producers, and by the way, I'm glad we can finally now agree with this lawsuit that they're saying the shows are real. So you can't say it's scripted. They're real. So then if that's true, are they under obligation to not film if something is happening like this with the characters? That's the thing. And then if that is true, they already have contracts in place because all of a sudden they are doing something considered exciting for reality television. Should they automatically, their contracts be null and void and you get more money immediately? Like, that's just not how contracts work, unfortunately.
No, like that's the real world. That like if I'm doing really good at my job this week, I'm not like, hey, my salary doesn't match the work I did this week. We
Yeah.
need to renegotiate.
I mean, like, I'm pro union. Like, I'm a Screen Actors Guild. Like, I'm happily striking, but I will say it's kind of weird because it just doesn't. Like, I think in future negotiations, Raquel would have an upper hand, and maybe there is a bonus structure that can be put into place for shows that get this insanely big. But all of a sudden, are they supposed to throw out contracts? And I'm just asking, like, because the show is all of a sudden successful, and Raquel cheated on Tom, so we need to give her extra?
No, it's like it just is ridiculous. And I feel like if you do that for one person, then you're gonna have to start doing it for everybody, and then everyone is just gonna be so out of control. But like because they want a storyline that is just so great that they have to get like that raise, and it's just not gonna be like genuine reality TV anymore. If everyone's trying to be like the most outlandish or the most scandalous so that they can get a higher pay raise. Like it's just going to get out of control.
These women have all been raised on Bravo at this point. Like my example of Heather Gay and things like they know these shows. So also they know that they're going into an unhealthy, potentially toxic work environment. And they usually are campaigning to get like, by the way, I would never ever recommend anybody to go on a Real Housewives of New Jersey. That fucking stuff, like that scares the fan base scares me for that. Like I get scared. One of a couple Jersey housewives wanted to come on the show. And I was like, I don't think I want that now. Like I really had to because I saw what was happening to other people that were having, and then there was like one podcast that was started having Siggy Flicker on. And I was like, I'm like good. Like it's deep for me, but it's not that like, I don't need that.
No one needs that. But like, and it's also like with the paying and stuff, like, should we really be rewarding Rachel for fucking her friend's boyfriend? Like, oh, you did such a good job fucking your man. Here's $50K.
Is the argument that like I did it for the show? Because Jax Taylor will one day use that argument of like, babe, I had to fucking cheat, dude. I need to pay our bills. It's the only way. Like that'll be the excuse one day.
That would totally be the excuse. He's gonna fuck a bartender from Jax's saloon named Candy.
And the only person that'll stand behind him is Randall. And he'll be like, I guess I can forgive you now, Randall. You don't have to pay me the $100,000 after all. I mean, pretty soon we're going to see a flip-flop on Jax with Randall too, of like, guys, it's enough with Randall. He's a good guy. We all make mistakes. Like, I do have a feeling too that Randall probably has some dirt on Jax. So Jax, like because they were like boys. I have a feeling they've like talked, weird, like shop about girls,
Remember, they all thought Randall was like the coolest guy ever.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Like what a guy. And remember that horrible prank they did where he had his actor cop buddies. Yes. And Katie was the only one that was like, dude, this is fucked up. And Schwartz is like, you suck, dude. You fucking
I've never been so attracted to you in my entire life.
Dude, poor Kate. What did you think about Katie this season?
So like in the beginning, the first few seasons when she was just kind of like in the background, like I was whatever. Then her wedding to Tom that season, I was like, I could not stand her for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then I did start to like her again recently. Like I think like, and watching it back too, like I've been rewatching Vanderpump. Like he was such a piece of shit to her. Like
you only realize now how much. I mean, it's like, but he's just so dang. Like men are charming, so we get more attention than women a lot of the times.
Right. And like I just watched the episode where Jax is saying to him like, I would be so happy if you cheated on Katie. That would make my whole life. Fuck her. And Katie's like, why are you hanging out with these people? And he's like, I don't know, like Jax
actively rooting against our relationship.
Right. And he's like, Katie, you don't understand. Like Jax and I have been there for each other for the past 4 years. I can't just I'm like, oh my God, you're such a little baby bitch. Like
that's the only thing that I sometimes like kind of regret that Scandal happened, because I would have liked to have even seen more of Katie's redemption arc. Not that she was trying to have a redemption arc, but I saw more of Katie's point of view this season than I'd ever had before. And I thought that was really, And I think Schwartz got off really easy at the reunion because of Scandal, because I mean, you would have had more conversations about the actual divorce. And I think Katie's a great example of somebody living for themselves finally and finding success in that. But once again, Katie was never going to be as charming as Schwartz is on TV. That's just not, like, Katie's a beautiful woman. She's funny in her own right, but Schwartz is always going to win the TV game.
Right. He's like the puppy dog. Like,
yeah. Like, even like, oh, that's all girls will tell me still of like, oh, he could get it. Oh, I would do it. I'm like, why do you girls set yourself up for failure? If we are commenting on guys' behavior, just don't sleep with them. Just refuse to.
I'd rather have sex with PK than Tom Schwartz.
I can actually make that happen if you're serious. If you really are serious. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Jade? May I put my little weenie in you?
Like, yeah.
Do you want me, Boy George? Sure. Culture Club. Yeah. Oh shit, we got to talk about Kyle. Kyle Richards was at Lollapalooza in Chicago this weekend to see her special friend Morgan Wade, the country singer. And we just got also announcement that Kyle Richards is in the new Morgan Wade music video, where they did a funny thing about internet rumors and stuff, I guess. And it was kind of a joke on us, or I haven't watched the video yet, but I will. But what is your whole take on this Mauricio Kyle stuff?
I feel like now she's trolling us. Like
but what a weird troll. Like, at what, like, so what, who cares? Like, I mean, what do you get out of, like, isn't it just more confuse your family that you're doing this? They're trolling us.
Isn't Portia like, why isn't mommy home? And Mauricio's like, she's at Morgan's show, sweetie. Like,
she's trolling her fans, sweetie.
Like, it's so bizarre. And I honestly was so shocked when the initial separation announcement happened, because I really thought they were like never gonna have problems, or like never.
Well, I thought they would never admit it to us.
Yeah. And then the fact that People Magazine posted it, like, People Magazine could post the sky is green, and I'd be like, oh, true, like, it must be.
Well, I will know, to your credit, to People's credit though, it usually, once it gets to that place, they have a source in place. It's not like Daily Mail.
Right. So when People posted the Kyle and Mauricio thing, I was like, okay, they're like, this is legit. Like, something is happening. And I had just a couple of days before gone down that whole rabbit hole of like Morgan and Kyle.
Yeah, everybody was posting. Everybody was posting like it was Face Reality 16 and Tracy Morrissey, and they were posting these really intense like dives. Like, Tracy Morrissey found that the Rolex that Mauricio had given her, that Morgan Wade was wearing on stage, the $10,000 Rolex.
Every little detail they've.
Oh my God.
This is true. This has to be. And I still think it is. I mean, like, it was so phony how immediately after that announcement came out, they like all went to Aspen and were like, oh my God, look at this happy Kimosabi family.
Yeah,
like,
they're all wearing their Kimosabi hat. Dude, I shit you not, Mauricio had a look like he was trolling us, because it looked like the biggest hat I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, that can't be a real hat. Like, it was like 2 times the size of a normal cowboy hat. It looked like.
I just feel, I think it's true. I honestly do think she is hooking up with Morgan, who goes to like even my best friends. Like, I'd go to like maybe 2 of your concerts if you were like my oldest and dearest friend. Like, I'm not going to like.
Back in the day when I did shitty improv, I wouldn't even ask my friends to go. Like, and Kyle showing up to like, and we know Kyle has like a boner for like Casey Musgraves and country music in general. She loves like Morgan Wallen, but like I love that Kyle is like Kanye West in like discovering new artists. Oh, like, is this like, but she's putting all of her credibility or her her reality show fame to try to promote this girl's, like, that's how much she believes in this girl's music.
It's so bizarre. And then like I saw the video of her at the concert, and like, I hate to say this, I mean, she's more talented than Tom Sandoval, but I was like, oh, she like, I don't know if she's really.
I don't like country. I like Casey Musgraves and I like Garth Brooks, but I'm not really I don't dip into country as Tom Sandoval would say that much. But I'm still not going to go out and listen to Morgan Wade's music left. But Maritza, who works with me, she goes, have you heard Morgan Wade's like not singing voice, her regular voice? And I just realized I hadn't. And she sent me this video. I was shocked. She was like, Hey, Kyle, what's going on? What's going on? It kind of sounded a little like country bumpkin. I didn't realize she had like a higher kind of very country voice. Have you heard her speaking
No,
voice?
I haven't.
You got to go listen to it. I was like, that's really, I don't know why it's interesting, but it's interesting.
And then isn't Kyle like doing her documentary also? Like,
On Morgan Wade.
who's gonna watch that? I'm sorry.
Kyle.
I don't even like to watch that many documentaries on things I actually give a shit about. And like, let alone that.
But think about like a new friend, like you've been a friend for like a year and a half, maybe, or a new boyfriend, girlfriend. Like it's getting obsessive. It's like when you fall in, like, you know, like if the first 6 months of your relationship with your dude, you were like, I need to make a documentary on you. It's like, that's the kind of love she's in right now of like, I need the world to know.
You are so amazing. Everyone,
yeah, you are the best. And she's like, really? I don't know. I just like singing songs, you know? And like Kathy, like she's introduced her to Kathy.
Oh my God. This is like, I honestly think they are hooking up. I think they're together. I think,
which I don't care. I'm like, I'm the weird person. Like, I don't care about sexuality and like whatever floats your boat. I'm just more fascinated. What a interesting, and especially after hearing Jenna Lyon's story of when she turned 40, starting to be attracted to women at that point on Roni. And it seems like a common, like, do you think, Jen, you know, that one day you will potentially find your Morgan Wade if the relationship with your current boyfriend doesn't work out?
You know, I think I'm going to string him along for like 20 more years. And then I'm going to fall in love with someone else.
Secretly, I would in the back of my head go, I've got to, like, this is like a warning shot to all men though. Like we've got to have a union of men of like, just like keeping us, like, just don't fucking do bad things. And women won't have to eventually find the love of women that will obviously is better. Like Jenna Lyons can't shut up about how amazing, like, oh, we both like, you know, our needs are always met. Like if the word gets out to all the women about that, guys are fucked.
Right. And I think like with Kyle, it's less about like who it is and like the sexuality thing, but it's more like, oh my God, they were like the couple of Bravo. Like no one ever thought that they would break up. They were always like so over the top PDA and like, I love you. Like, and then for all of the sudden them to be like, you know, we've had a tough year and now she's like with this Morgan chick all the time. I think like that is what is more shocking. Like if Erica Jane and her husband were still together and she was hooking up with a woman, everyone would be like, okay, like saw that.
Yeah, it depends on who it is. Like, yeah, like I wasn't shocked about Erica Jane and Tom. Like I was shocked more about the bilking of all the millions of dollars because I never thought that it was a real relationship in the sense of love to begin with.
Oh no, it totally wasn't. But like Kyle Mauricio, they've been together forever.
I mean, was it 20 plus years like that? They have a family, they have businesses. They really did, you know, I don't know. And that's a long time. So it'll be interesting to hear the story if we get to hear the truth of it. But I also can't wait to watch Dorit cry on camera about it. Like, oh, Kyle. And Sutton's like, so I just want you to be happy, Kyle. I'll say, if you want to, I'll take you to a sauna, buy you a massage, you know. Or like, what if
Dorit's like crying, but then text Mo like, you up, like heard you're single.
Well, you never know. And then they pick cameras back up like they did with Vanderpump Rules. And I can only, like, I don't know if it's not going to be the same, you guys, because I think they're in agreement on this.
I know. And I think it's also why she has like not said anything about it either, is because she wants everyone to like watch the show and like the cameras picked up. Like they're not like Vanderpump Rules where I feel like we've already watched next season. Like we are seeing everything happen in real time.
Yeah.
Like I think Kyle is like, you know what, we're gonna get my version on the show. We're gonna get Mauricio's version, and we're not like, because like nothing really has come out since then. Their team is being pretty hush hush.
But also, don't you think it's also like that there's a bit of it that we don't care as much? Probably. Like, you know, like how we were like searching for information about Raquel and Tom. Like we were like really just going off on the memes. Like, it's kind of like, I mean, I made a meme the other day because of the music video, but I don't really genuinely check in on Morgan and Kyle because I'm like, yeah, I mean, they're whatever. Like, I think there's like an older generation thing too with like Housewives and Vanderpump. It's just younger people that are still fucking up. I mean, they're getting older, obviously, but it's just a different thing.
Right. And I feel like you can't top Scandival, really. Like, that was so wild. And the details of that.
It's Haley's Comet. You're once in a lifetime. It's never going to come. Do you have 10 more minutes?
Yeah.
Are you okay? You were right. Okay. Sorry. I just didn't get to cover. Okay, good. Because I'm having such a good, are you having a good time? Are you good?
Yeah. I
okay, cool. Okay.
At all.
Okay. Because we haven't hit a couple things that I wanted to hit. Tom Sandoval, we had our first preview. He's on another reality series for Fox called it's called, I don't know. It's someplace where they make him
something, right?
What's that? Like Special Forces. Special Forces. And they have a clip of Tom Sandoval with a bloody nose, and he's like, I want to be punished. You know, like, and it's like, then Nick Viall, who's on the cast as well. It's a wild cast, you guys. It's like JoJo Siwa, it's Tara Reid, Black China, Tom Sandoval. Finally, Tom Sandoval feels shame when he sees the other cast members of Special Forces. But then Nick Viall, who, it's sad when I was like, wow, Nick Viall, is he like the actual guy that has the best reputation of this entire cast right now? Like, I was like, Nick, do you want to do this show? It seems like, do you want to be lumped in with Black China and stuff? But he then said that Tom Sandoval snuck in photos of Raquel to keep with him. And Nick Viall said it was like, yeah, I guess like I would have wanted to sneak in pictures of my girlfriend. What did you read that?
I did, and I thought it was so funny that Nick and Tom are on the same show, because Nick has had everyone from Vanderpump Rules on his podcast to talk about Scandival, and then they're like now together in like the wilderness. And
I was like, he really went there to get that interview. Like, he wants to get that Sandoval interview. And I
mean, Sandoval, everything he does, I feel like has an ulterior motive or is attention seeking. Like, I don't think he was like secretly hiding like the picture. I think he was like looking at that. He's like, see, guys, look.
It's real. It's real. And by the way, at that point, we had already seen that he'd been hooking up on the road with other people. And also, we do know he's cheated with other people besides Raquel with Ariana. But I do love that thought of trying to manipulate the narrative of it really is true love, potentially.
Oh, yeah. You know, he's going to be next to a campfire, like with the guitar, a picture of Raquel like, next to him, like singing some country.
Trying to write a song like, Rick, what rhymes with Rachel? Rachel? What are we calling her now? What's up? What rhymes with Rachel? Machel?
And then looking up at the stars and being like, I know she's looking at the same stars as me right now.
What is that? Oh, yeah, lightning, dude. I just thought it would be funny if they were just hardcore nudes he snuck in. It's that's Rachel's beaver. Yeah, like Nick's like, yeah, it was really inappropriate. It was very uncomfortable. It wasn't a good scene. Tom's a real weirdo.
I could picture him doing that too and be like, this is art. Like, this is.
Dude, look at the curvature of her body, dude. It's like crazy, dude. I still am one of the only people like. I know, like I get in trouble sometimes for commenting on women's looks or issues because I got in trouble. Well, not in trouble. A couple people really didn't like that I made the menopause joke about Erica Jane because she was on Watch What Happens Live, and Erica Jane has lost a bunch of weight. And Andy asked, was it Ozempic? And she said, no, it's menopause. And then all the women in my life had told me that menopause actually makes you gain weight. And so I just said, hey, where can I get a prescription to menopause? And a lot of people found that, you know, it was meant to be a stupid joke. But then some people were like, don't you talk about women's bodies or issues. And I'm like, wait a sec. First off, it's a dumb joke of like, I would believe that menopause is something you can prescribe. Right. And then say like, but then, and then somebody was then like, no, you don't understand. She actually meant hormones that she's on. And I'm like, why do people always have to make excuses for liars?
Yeah, but didn't she like literally said menopause? Like, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait a sec. She didn't say she's on hormones that actually, like, she said menopause and doubled down on it. And I don't know why people need to stick up for people that are just blatantly lying.
I know, like, honestly, and even if it was menopause, I doubt you're losing like 30 pounds from that. Like,
but also if it's Ozempic or if it's any kind of semaglutide, who cares at this point?
I mean, like, you and 45 other housewives are on it. Like, who cares? Like, we've seen it.
We need an Ozempic union. That's the union we need. Like, you're like, and also if you don't want to answer the question, or just don't answer the question, just say a woman never tells, Andy.
Right. Like, ooh, like.
A
Gotta have
woman
some
never
people.
tells Annie I'm getting so much dick. Where are you with Erica Jane? Are you excited to see her redemption season?
No, honestly, I don't even I can't stand her since like all of that. And I feel like now that she doesn't have Rinna, I don't know if she's gonna try and be like friendly with everyone or try and be like cool with the ladies. But I mean, I don't trust her at all. I think, and
Would you
she
go see her Vegas residency?
no. And like I don't, she's just like not a good person. Like it's not even like, oh, you're just a bitch. Like
And
you're
by the way, sometimes that's great to watch on TV. Like I sometimes I like watching her. I like disliking her on TV.
me too.
Like, and I think that's an important aspect of reality shows is having the people you dislike as well as the people you like.
No, totally. And like I don't want her off the show or anything. Like I
No.
want her on it. I think her and Sutton are the funniest. How they would be at each other's throat, and then she's like, "Look at my Bumble match." Like,
And well, I think weirdly Sutton still seeks Erica Jane's approval, and I'm like, girl, like, what is that all about? Like, don't do that. So yeah, I'm excited to see Erica Jane. Are you going to do BravoCon this year?
so I want to. I'm just so poor, and like I'm so pissed it's not in New York because and like
But you didn't go last year, I don't think.
I
Did
won
you?
one day, which is all I would want to do again. It was like it's exhausting.
Really, but it was exciting.
It was exciting, but I remember at the end of the day, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I feel like I just went away for a week, like, and it was just one day where I live.
Oh, like I was shaky. I was like the DT. I was like coming to like I was like okay, the first day of not drinking after BravoCon because like I just got like I was getting hammered every night, like in a like with like Bravo celebrities, but it was still like just the excitement and meeting all the people, and it was I mean it really was amazing. But you gotta go. I mean you could fucking do a GoFundMe and just say I need to cover it for my Instagram. Like just tell Bravo you want to cover it.
And if like people who are thinking about going to BravoCon or listening to this, like the way I would do it this time is like I think if you're gonna go, you just need to spring for the like VIP one. I had a regular admission, which I feel like I spent so much time online and
for the panels.
Yeah, like all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm only here for the day and I've been online for 4.5 hours. And so I feel like I would want to do like the VIP one. And then also like Friday, like if I was going to do one day again, Sunday was the worst day to do because the Bravo people were so burnt out. And
like, the Javits Center just smelled like failure at that
point.
It
did. It like, and like no one was like peppy or upbeat anymore, like excited. Everyone was like, I'm the fuck out of here. And like
well, the good thing about Vegas, though, too, is that like I feel like you don't even need a ticket because there's going to be so many offshoot parties that'll be happening that like I will say you could have just showed up to all of these events and like still been around people, seen people. Like it would have still been like things to do.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like the nice thing with Vegas, too, is like in New York, like there's so many places for them to go. And like Vegas, you really just have like the strip. Like where else are you going to go? Like it's not that hard to find people, like which sounds creepy, like, but like I'm gonna find you. It's only a slip. But like you're more inclined to run into somebody from Bravo.
Okay, two last things. Real Housewives of Miami. Lenny got engaged when he's still married to Lisa. Do you watch Real Housewives of Miami?
I love Miami.
Me too. I think like I'm so excited that it's actually moving from Peacock to Bravo because I think people get so confused about that. But Lenny, like, what do you think about this scumbag, Lenny Hochstein?
Oh my God. I think I posted on my story the other day that because he was like, you guys don't know how Lisa treated me. I was an ATM. She like went out all the time. And I posted, I was like, I don't care if she waterboarded him every single day of their marriage. Like you are still awful and so much worse. Like,
and you're telling me the new 27-year-old isn't treating you like an ATM? Like literally, I mean, I come on, like I don't. Like that kind of shit just makes me believe in not love at all because it's like, come on, Lenny, like you know the gig, you know that it's, you know, she's not with you for you and you're not with her for her personality either. Like it's you know, you
joke.
Yeah, like your concept of love isn't what actual like love is. And the fact that this mom is getting in on it because she wants to keep on the payroll is wild.
It's so wild. And like, I was trying to explain this situation to my boyfriend, even though he doesn't give two fucks, but I was like, it's so messed up. I was like, their children are like so little. And he's like, get out of my house with the kids. Like, Like they're like 4 and 2 or like something like that.
And they're cute and they seem well behaved on camera. Like, I mean, it
I
seems like
know.
a good kids. It doesn't seem like, and the treating like, oh, she treated me like an ATM. It's like, she's married to you. Yeah, you have the money. Like, you make her feel bad every time she needs. Like, I'm not saying that Lisa probably doesn't have her faults, but like, my God, what an idiot.
I know he is. I cannot wait for this girl to dump him eventually. Like she's gonna have her fill of him, whatever, get what she wants. She's probably like, no prenup, right? Like, I love you so much. Like, if you, and he's like, whatever you want. Like, this is forever.
Yeah, it's like, well, I do think it's funny too. It's like how Bravo audiences, we can see something on TV and know immediately that it's wrong. Like when he was like on this season of Miami, she was like, he's eating right for the first time in his life. He's with a trainer. He's doing it all for me. And we're all like, no, he absolutely is not doing it for you. Like we all know.
You know, like it's not for you. If you've been married that long and he was a fat piece of shit and never cared, like it's not for you.
Yeah, it's like, trust me, he didn't wake up just one day and care about his like, like fucking blood pressure out of nowhere just for like I want to be here for the kids. I want to live. No, he wants to be there for the like lady parts. 2 last things and I'll get you out of here, even though I'm having, this is the best time for me. I know. Southern Charm trailer. That came out and I loved it.
I loved it too. I'm so excited. And I didn't even notice that Catherine wasn't in it. I like forgot.
I know. Well, I will say even the last couple of seasons, they had to kind of like find ways to inject her into the show, even though, she's been there from the beginning. And by the way, now that I'm thinking about it, I would expect Bethany to reach out to Catherine in terms of a reality show union, because if they didn't pick up Catherine's option, Catherine does have a bone to pick with Bravo. And Catherine does not have an argument against Bravo, but I mean, what she went through at the hands of that dude, Thomas, she was 18 years old.
They have the best argument, actually.
I mean, she was 18 years old. This dude like really messed with her head, and she still, I don't think, has fully gotten over that trauma.
No, I think that out of everyone who has been fired or like even been on the show, like she has the best argument for being like taken advantage of and whatnot. Get her on the stand like immediately.
Bethany's like, we got one. Extra crab boil tonight. Yeah.
So, like while like she's been an OG the whole time, like this season does look really good.
Because the guys, the season revolves around, once again, men being stupid. And we have Taylor potentially sleeping with Austin, but Taylor lies about it. But Austin's like, I did something bad, dude. I did something real bad. Did Taylor sleep with Austin?
Oh, definitely. And then like Olivia is like all butthurt, like, you're my friend, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, can we stop fighting over Austin Kroll? Like for once and for all, can we stop?
But I hear girls all the time tell me of like, even Sophie, she's like, he's so tall. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, just because you're tall doesn't give you a free pass to just be a doofus.
Like, he's such a piece of shit. And, but I think did you see that thing that someone saw Shep like on a date recently and they overheard
with Caitlin Collins from CNN.
And then she was like, well, how are things with Austin? And he's like, oh, they're like, fine, I guess. Like,
boys will always forgive other boys. Like, like it's like it doesn't make any sense. We'll be more mad at the women than at other men. And I never fully understand why that is, but it seems like, and then in the trailer, Patricia goes, oh, well, she sent some nudes to Whitney. Could you imagine sending a nude to Whitney?
Could you imagine someone you send a nude to shows their mom?
Mom, check this out, huh? I guess I'm doing pretty good too, huh? It's pretty good too, huh?
Do you think it was? Who do you think it was?
I think they were saying it's Taylor.
It's Taylor. Oh my God. And it's so funny because I was thinking Taylor and I was like, oh my God, she puts on this whole little like church girl, like.
Well, it could have been like Shep hurt her so bad that she's like, time to play ball. Like, I'm going to play your game now.
And it's funny because she's like in her 20s. Whitney's like 30 years older than her. I
thought you were about to say Whitney's in his 30s. I was like, girl, stop. Whitney, girl, stop. Like, yeah. Remember the old episodes when he was like playing guitar for that Swedish model with his electric guitar? But it actually looks good. All like people are like falling into each other. And then I will say, I'm really like the Craig Page stuff. Like, I can't tell if that's just a bit too, because I saw in the trailer they have another conversation. He's like, well, I think, well, why are we doing this if we're not going to get married, girl? Like, are we going to have that same argument again? Like, I feel like they're on the same page when I see him on social media, but then like you see him on film and it seems like Craig's like really insecure about the relationship.
And I feel like every argument they've had about it, like on Summer House and stuff, like it gets resolved. Like she's like, I want to marry you eventually.
Yeah, she cries.
Yeah,
it's done when she cries.
He's like, I do want to marry you someday, like not right now. And he's like, okay. And then the next day he's like, why don't you want to marry me?
Yeah, more about the and I love when Craig gets trashed though, because he's like he's like, we always say women are emotional, but I think it's like no, men are way like Craig is way more emotional than a woman.
More.
Like, you know,
them, it's like the culture up here about like marriage and like what age you get married is so different than like South Carolina that.
Yeah.
Like people down there, like I have friends who are from there and they live here now. Like their friends got married when they were like 24. And then here you date a 40-year-old and he's like, I'm too young to settle down. Like, and
what is like I actually genuinely like Paige. I think Paige is super funny. I don't love that she lays around, but like I think she's really funny. She has that thing that like good for reality star talking heads. But I will say I also like that she's like, I like my career. I like New York. Like it's kind of obvious when she talks that she doesn't need Craig, but she really it seems like she does love and like Craig, but I also think she really loves and likes her life. And there's only a handful of people that can actually say that about their lives.
Oh yeah. And like, I remember in Summer House, he was like, you love New York more than you love me. And she was like, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I like it. Like, I mean, you know how hard it is to live in New York. And if you're able to do it successfully, that's like a feat in itself. And then after the initial charm of Charleston wears off, Paige said like, yeah, what am I going to do? Just like sit there and like wear the clothes that all the girls wears in Charleston. I mean, she really did. She really seems like she actively hates it.
I know. And I think she always like had been saying like when she's ready to like have children and like she would go down there, but she's like, I'm like not now.
I like that it's like considered like a failure of like, I guess it's time now. I'm ready.
I know,
like take me to prison. Take me to prison. Also, it did make me think of my favorite Austin moment, and I posted that of like the Madison walking in on the threesome.
Oh my God.
Madison! And he's like pushing down his boner. He's like, you're acting crazy right now, Madison. Madison! Like, and he says Madison in the trailer.
I know. Oh my God. It's so good. Madison.
Oh my God. There was this girl that I posted that picture of him, and this girl DM'd me and said, my claim to fame. And I was like, oh, are you one of the fucking girls from the video, the threesome? And she didn't answer me back. And I was like, please answer, please answer, please answer. And then I was like, even flagged it because I sometimes don't see DMs. Like, yeah. I'll just, and then she goes, no, my name's Madison. And I was like, oh, I thought it was one of the girls. And I was like, oh my God, if I got to talk to one of the girls that Madison walked in on, that it was
imagine?
Oh, I was like
Madison too. I'm like, I was wondering in the trailer, I'm like, does her husband care that she's like all up in Austin's like business?
Well, the husband was in the trailer.
Oh, he's gonna film?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think that's who I saw was that he was in that.
But I'm like, she is like way too involved still in like what he's doing.
Yeah, but we didn't see Naomi. Naomi's not there anymore, it looks like.
I know she didn't really need to come back. She was kind of like, I think that she came back because she had sex with Craig and
Matul, I mean, he's gone, but then I saw him, didn't he like vacation with some of the other, like Matul like popped up in a photo with Craig or something recently. Anyways, I wanted to end with OC. Are you watching OC?
Yes, and I'm enjoying it.
Dude, Shannon Bedore and John Jansen, I always like, they're like pro drinkers. Like they're like drinkers.
You know what? Do you know what the secret is? I'm dying to know. The one that she...
Oh, like, yeah. She was like, it's over. It's over. If this gets revealed, it's over. I ruined a relationship. And I'm like, first off, they need to like iron, like they need to like put those mic packs on where they can't take them off.
Oh, I
Like
know.
once your mic pack is on, you do not, they need to like staple it to them or something. Cause yeah, like if you want to take your mic off, that's a mic moment where we need, like, you can't take it off. I think it's his anger. I think he has an anger issue from what I understand, but also that Shannon does as well. And I think they get into some real big rows together.
Oh,
like
I'm sure.
fights.
Didn't she have like a freak out at his daughter at a restaurant?
No, not a restaurant, at a tiki bar. And it's not even, it wasn't like, I've had people that live there and said it's a really dirty tiki bar. Like it's a really hole in the wall tiki bar.
It's like, no one will recognize us here. I can be my batshit crazy self.
And she told Andy, she goes, Andy, I was in a fight with John Jansen's daughter. And she's like, why are you fighting with John's daughter? You guys aren't even together anymore. And she's like, well, we like to hang out. We like to. And I was like, you guys just like to hang out and drink together, but you're not actually together. And then you're getting into arguments. But then she
at the concert at
the Morgan Wallen. Yeah.
She created this poor family.
I will tell you something right now. And then, I mean, like, remember when I always bring up, like, she was like, our dog Archie's missing. And it turns out she had just left the door open. And the dog was at the neighbor's house. And then she was like, found. And I was like, Archie's like, fuck, Shannon's hitting the bottle again. Like, it feels like she's, but I love Shannon with all my heart. Like, I love her.
Shannon too, but she's definitely got like some drinking. Like I heard like her daughters were going up to the family at the concert, like apologizing profusely for Shannon. And I'm like, oh my God, these poor girls. This is probably like every time they go do something fun with their mom. It's like you're apologizing to like another family Shannon like throws up on and screams at. Like,
well, and that's like, I will say, in not Bravo's defense, but like Bravo could show more of that they wanted to. And there are certain things that Bravo won't even do. Like Bravo could really, like, the storyline right now in Orange County is Jen Pedranti and the new Ryan, that Ryan potentially has cheated on Jen. Like it's like this whole thing. But if they wanted to, they could do a Shannon Bedore drinking season of like everybody's worried about Shannon. But Emily just laughed it off last episode and go, we all have our drinking issues here. And they just did a montage of all the drinking issues.
And it's like, we actually don't, but okay.
It's what do you think of Tamara coming back?
So I think I like Tamara like on the show. I think she's always been an important asset to it. Right now, I think she's trying too hard. Like she's like, I'm back and I'm going to make you regret like ever firing me because look how great I am on the show and look at all the drama I bring. So like when she threw the napkin and stuff, like I didn't feel like that. I feel like she was trying to put on a show. Like the Tamara show.
Yeah.
And like this poor girl, Jen, I feel so bad for her. She comes on the show thinking her and Tamara are friends. The second the cameras start rolling, Jen's like, fuck you, your husband wants to fuck me. Like,
it's so funny. I mean, because I do enjoy those first, like, that don't realize what they're getting themselves into. And you see it, the recognition on camera. You're like, wait a second. Tamara said she'd always be here and she's sharing information. Like you can see them putting it together and then you're like, no way. But I don't understand how everybody buys into Tamara's bullshit because we see it from a mile away. And like, once again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying I want Tamara gone. Tamara's great for the show, but why does she's done this from season 1 or from the beginning for her.
She's always been that person. And I think that like, especially like Gina and Emily and like those newer girls, like I think Tamara is someone who you do not want to be like on her bad side because she's just going to like steamroll you. Like
throw you, like just stomp on you. And then she'll say, I didn't do that. Are you kidding me? I love you. She always said, I love you. You're like one of my best friends in the whole wide world. What are you talking about?
It's, oh, the dog was sick. Oh, we were closing Cut Fitness. Oh, like Ryan went to the Capitol and stormed it. Like there's always something.
What do you think about Ryan's transformation? He's like, howdy, partner. My name's Ryan. I'm on a ranch. I watched Yellowstone and now I love it so much I've made it my entire personality.
Like you live in Orange County. Like,
dude, like I understand wanting to wear a big hat when you're that bald, but like it is interesting. Like, Ma, I want you to buy a ranch and I'll run it. And she's like, okay. Like, it's like it has his favorite things, I guess, because he gets to carry a gun and he gets to, have like it's wild. That Ryan guy, I can't believe they let him back on.
I can't believe they did either. And who I cannot stand Heather anymore.
I am working for all the women out there. I sing, I host, I act, I produce. Like she had a meeting with Mark Cuban, and I guess that's probably like a big get, but I just don't care. Like I was like, okay.
And we all know Mark Cuban was there because Terry invested a ton of money in Firestream, which I heard only has like that celebrity psychic on it.
Well, I did look at the lineup for this new app that she was talking about, and one of the shows is Drive By. Like it's like called like Terry is the main guy, and it's called Drive By Diagnosis or something, where he like just pulls up to people's houses and like does medical shit to them. And I was like, and the picture was him like in a car seat, and I was like, he just rolls up to like people's houses and then like does like it didn't make me want to watch it, but I did find it interesting.
When you said that, my first image I had in my head was like him at a stoplight and like rolling down the window and being like, herpes. And like, like bipolar, keep driving.
Did you see Gina this weekend? She's like, everybody making fun of my spelling. And you guys, you're not the spelling police. Gina, why is she trying so hard all of a sudden?
And she's like, I type with an accent. I'm like, give me a fucking break. Like,
but like, did they tell her to try to step it up? And this is just like her trying to figure out what her, like, and then she like was trying to yell at Shannon Bedore for wearing the same leather skirt on Watch What Happens Live that she did. But it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. This is not like, I don't know. Gina just doesn't, it just doesn't matter to me.
I think she's starting to realize that she is going to be an awful realtor. And she's like, I need to step it up if I'm going to stay on this show because I need a job. And like,
why do she has 6, like they give her the most storyline for like personal storyline where I feel like they're just trying to throw everything against the wall and see if one thing sticks.
Oh, I know. I was dying. Travis is like, how much is this house? She's like, I don't know. Am I supposed to know that? Like,
there's the door, there's the window. It's got a nice window. And Travis is always just like, yeah, babe, cool. Like, it's like not, he seems like a really nice guy, but it just seems like, but then somebody was telling me, I think Noor from The Reality Is said that they even had Travis and Gina had cops come to their house, like in between seasons. Like there was some kind of like issue with them and potentially that's why she stopped drinking.
Probably. She seems like, but like I keep on forgetting like the state she was in when they met. That was when like she was at her worst. Is like when they met. Yeah. And he's like, oh, like I'm falling in love with her. And like, and she has like the white extensions with the platinum blonde hair.
Blended the family, everything. Okay, I have taken so much of your time, but is there any other Bravo things that we haven't touched that you need to get off your chest? Is there any hot takes or opinions that you have that you're like, I need to say this to the audience right now?
Oh God. All right. I'm thinking like Heather has been on my last nerve. Bethany. Those are like
the big ones.
Vanderpump Rules. I will say I don't like how we're seeing Vanderpump Rules play out in real time. I feel like nothing's going to be a surprise. Like we're getting too much. I think Sheena. I do think Sheena's forgiving Tom Sandoval. I also think that. I think I'm like annoyed that everyone's going to be nice to him. That's like my biggest fear.
Because we all talk tough, and that, by the way, that's like one of the like I always say to that. Like I blocked Tom from my like phone. I blocked him from my just in case, because I just never wanted to be in that position where I'd have to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like, and so these people have to be around him, and they immediately feel. I feel like they crumble. It'll be interesting to see, but I think it's also going to be interesting to see them fight over fame. Like, I think they're jealous of each other's fame or like what somebody's getting and what somebody's not getting. And I think that could be interesting as well. If like they do kind of turn on Ariana.
I will say I'm really proud of Ariana though, for like not budging. Like she's like, I'm not filming with him.
She said that last years ago. I'm not filming with him. Yeah.
Like,
good.
And she's sticking to it. And I don't care if the entire cast wants to crucify her for that. Like good for her. She's the only one to her word.
The producers are just having Tom hide in a closet, and they're just like, just pop out, and we'll get you guys like saying hi to each other. They're finding ways to like find, like maybe they can find a way. I do think Raquel will come back, you guys, but I do think they will not tell the cast because they don't want it to get out. I think it'll be behind closed doors, not in public. But I believe she will be back for at least an episode.
I think it's going to be a finale episode where like you had like they introduce Kristen, like you see the feet, And like they're walking, and then it goes up, and you like realize it's Kristen. Like it's gonna.
No, it'll be, you'll just hear this like a bunch of like woods, and you'll just like see these leaves move, and you see his bare feet, and like it's Raquel's a feral creature now in the woods, and she's like, you know, and Tom's like, Raquel, is that you? And she's like, it's Rachel now. You know, she's covered in dirt.
It's Rachel
now. But also Bethany, if you're listening, don't ruin Bravo for everybody like that. It's more, I feel like scorched earth than actually trying to help people. So I'll be interested. I think there's a world in which we can get better working conditions for these guys, but also I think a lot of these people know what they're signing up for and they still want to sign up for it. And they also do, you know, I would imagine if this goes to any kind of trial or anything, you would be able to prove the money you're able to make because of the show, which Bethany is like the number one person of that with Skinny Girl.
I know. I hope, you know what, you should be the lawyer on the other side and be like, how much did you make?
Yeah, that goes. Bethany Frankel, please state your age for the jury. You know, like I could really get in there. And then I'd like to call to the stand Mr. Jason Hoppy.
Oh my God.
And I call the exes and all that stuff. I would totally get in there, and I would actually show footage from the show, and then I would also call into a thing because she's produced reality shows before, and I would pull the contracts she's had people sign in the past.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think she is setting herself up for something like I told you that interview where she was like, they offered me way too much money to go back to Roni, and I couldn't say no. Like they gave, like, you made a ton of money. I think she has said things in the past about what she made on there that are just going to get thrown in her face. And
I've had a lot of people work with Bethany behind the scenes and have not had positive experiences, but I do think she's like legendary for what she's done on the show. I just sometimes don't dig this aspect of Bethany, even regardless of the union. I've just not been a fan of her TikToks and stuff like that, but I don't begrudge anybody that does. I just feel like pick a lane, and it's going to be interesting if you want to keep being the old Bethany and then also be the head of a reality show union.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Okay, Jen, what can we help you with? Where it is you don't have the podcast, you don't have the Patreon. We all follow you on the Instagram. What else can we do for you, Jen?
I guess just follow the Instagram. That's really not a lot going on at the moment.
I mean, you have one of the best Bravo accounts out there. Everybody, I mean, like always says like that. I mean, you really do. Wait, who are you blocked by now besides DJ James Kennedy?
James, Lisa Rinna, Kristen.
What'd you say about Kristen?
I don't know.
You know, people don't realize that we make fun. Like, I also hold these people in esteem, even if I make fun of them. Like, I still like them.
I know, me too.
Not Sandoval, but everybody else.
Like, Kristen has like the best ammo for like making posts about, like, she is just.
I know, like, and it is hard to get to know like, that's why I don't like to get to know these people, because then I can't make as hard of jokes because I do know that.
I posted a picture of, it was like Stassi in Hartford posing with like this terrifying like Halloween guy, and I was like, oh look, like Hartford met season 2 Kristen or like something. And it was
that's funny. If it's like season 2 Kristen, you're not saying it's now.
Season 2, I wasn't like, oh, Chris. And like, does she think she was saying season 2? Like
Well, when she was on the podcast, I said, you know, oh, you're legendary in the sense of like the suck a dick and like all these lines, and she goes, I don't think that's legendary. I don't. And I'm like, it is interesting because she's not proud of those moments, yet we consider it like iconic and like in the lexicon.
Oh, like that is the Emmy. Like they should have gotten an Emmy then for that.
Well, imagine if the reality show union happened when Dodie got smacked by Stassi. Like, imagine like those like things happening now. We do live in a different, like that would be automatic firing what happened back then. But like, we love that moment, even though it was painful for them. Like that show exists because of moments like that.
No, those were the best days. That's why I'm trying to convince my boyfriend. I'm like, you don't understand what the early episodes are like. You're going to love it, and you don't even know.
Explain to your boyfriend when he watches that Stassi has a chin implant. That will make a lot more sense too. Is that people don't realize, and I'm like, of course Stassi's as funny and smart as she can be, because she had to develop her personality, because she looked very different than she does now. And she took it as far to get a chin implant to complete her actual look that actually opened up, like, you know, people all of a sudden thought she was beautiful after the chin implant.
Oh yeah. Like if you're that hot, you either were like a hideous teenager or you had like a trauma happen. And then like, if you're that beautiful and funny, like you can.
Would you want Stassi to come back?
Honestly, I feel like the place she's at in her life now, she wouldn't be that great of TV.
Yeah, why? And I don't think Bo would either. And I don't.
Right.
I mean, Vanderpump Valley, I'll watch, but I don't like. I know kids are fun, and I watch a lot of them on TikTok and funny videos. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty okay with not watching Stassi raise her kid. I don't know. Like, I guess if there was a good reason, I don't know.
I feel like with her book and stuff, like she's like, I'm changed. I'm so much more self-aware. I don't make fun of people anymore. I don't like, okay, then don't be on the show. Like, we don't need that.
I think she totally does make fun of people. We just don't hear it.
Oh, yeah.
And like, she also doesn't need it. She has successful, all these other things. I mean, she doesn't have to go on like reality special forces missions with Stassi Schroeder. Like she's doing fine. I saw her at the Taylor Swift concert. I mean, I wasn't there, but I saw pictures of her, and she looked like she's having a great life. So
yeah, I don't think she needs it. And like with the kids and stuff, I'm like, I hope it's not boring. Like maybe some of them will have like behavioral issues or something, and that would be really great to watch. But like, I don't.
Well, no, I think she was on Lala's podcast, and she said that Hartford had some like behavioral issues and was working with somebody on. She said this on Lala's podcast, and because they were making a joke about Lala's daughter getting bad behavior from Hartford.
Oh my God! Get Andy in a camera.
Imagine. Like little Stassi and like Bo's like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my God, like the most normal parents. That's the one with like the
that now I actually do want to see them raise kids. Now I take it back. Okay, guys, it's at blocked_by_Jax. I'll tag her in all the posts tomorrow. But Jen, thank you. It's been way too long. I really appreciate this, and you make me laugh on the daily. And come back whenever you want to bitch about anything. It's always here.
Oh my God. Well, I'm always ready to bitch. So whenever you
okay, 5